You check your bank account, and there's $340 left before payday. So you do what everyone told you to do. You open a spreadsheet. You label columns. Groceries, gas, subscriptions, fun money. You promise yourself this is the month you finally stick to it. Day 3, you're still tracking. Day 9, you forget to log a coffee. Day 14, you open the spreadsheet and just stare at it. And by the end of the month, you've spent the same amount you always spend, except now you also feel like a failure about it. Meanwhile, you know someone, maybe a coworker, maybe a cousin, who never talks about budgeting, doesn't own a spreadsheet, doesn't track receipts, and somehow they still have savings, still have investments, still seem fine. And you're sitting there thinking, what do they know that I don't? Here's the uncomfortable answer. Budgeting and automating are not the same strategy, wearing different clothes. They're actually two completely different relationships with money. One relies on willpower. The other removes willpower from the equation entirely. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why broke people budget, why rich people automate, and how to make the switch without needing more discipline, more time, or more income. My name is Jack. If you're someone who's tried budgeting 5 different times and it never sticks, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Let's start with something that might sting a little. Budgeting, the way most people do it, is designed to fail. Not because you're lazy, not because you're bad with money, because it puts the entire job on your brain every single day, forever. Every purchase becomes a decision. Can I afford this? Does this fit the category? Am I over budget? That's not a system. That's a part-time, unpaid job with no vacation days. And here's what most people don't realize. Willpower is not a personality trait. It's a limited resource. Research on decision fatigue has shown that the more choices you make in a day, the worse your later choices get. So if you're deciding 40 times a day whether a purchase fits your budget, by evening, your brain is exhausted, and exhausted brains make impulsive decisions. That's not a coincidence. That's biology working against a system that depends on constant self-control. Now, compare that to automation. Automation doesn't ask your brain to make a decision every day. It makes the decision once and then removes you from the process entirely. That's the entire difference. Budgeting says, try harder every day. Automation says, decide once, then get out of your own way. Let's talk about why this actually plays out in real numbers. Bucket 1, what budgeting usually looks like in practice. You get paid. The money sits in your checking account. You mentally allocate it. Rent, groceries, savings, some for fun. But since it's all sitting in one place, visible and spendable, your brain treats it as one big number, not separate categories. So when something unexpected comes up, a dinner out, a sale, a treat yourself moment, it just comes out of the same pool. And the savings portion, the part with no immediate consequence for skipping, is usually the first thing that quietly disappears. Bucket 2, what automation looks like in practice. You get paid. Before you see the money, before you can make a decision about it, a percentage moves automatically into savings, into a retirement account, into an index fund. It happens on payday, not whenever I remember or whatever's left. And here's the key part. What's left in your checking account is what you're actually allowed to spend, not what's left after good intentions. What's mathematically left. This is the entire trick rich people use, and it has almost nothing to do with income. Pay yourself first, not last. Not if there's anything left. First. Let's run the math, so this isn't just a nice phrase. Imagine 2 people, both earning the same income. Person A budgets manually and manages to save whatever's left at the end of the month, which averages out to about $50. Person B automates 10% of every paycheck the moment it lands, which comes out to $300 a month. After 1 year, Person A has saved $600. Person B has saved $3,600. Same income, same lifestyle, roughly. The only difference is when the decision to save happened, before spending or after. Now extend that over time. If Person B invests that automated $300 a month into a low-cost index fund, averaging 8% annual returns, after 20 years, that's not just $72,000 in contributions. With compounding, it's closer to $176,000. Person A, still relying on whatever's left over, likely never crosses six figures at all. Not because person A earns less, because person A's system depends on willpower showing up every single month for 20 years. And willpower doesn't have that kind of attendance record. Here's the part that surprises people the most. Rich people aren't more disciplined day to day. They're less dependent on discipline because they front-loaded the discipline once into a system instead of needing it fresh every single day. So how do you actually build this? Here's the exact process. Step 1. Calculate your automation number, not your budget number. Don't start by listing every expense category. Start with one question. What percentage of every paycheck can move away before you ever see it? Even 5% counts. The number matters less than the habit of it happening automatically. Step 2. Set up the transfer to happen on payday, not after. This is critical. If the transfer happens 3 days after payday, you've already made spending decisions with that money in your head. It needs to move the same day, ideally the same hour, your paycheck lands. Step 3. Split the automation into purpose-based accounts. Not one blob of savings, 3 destinations. Safety, a separate account for emergencies that you don't touch. Growth, an automatic transfer into an index fund or retirement account. Goals, a smaller account for things you're saving toward on purpose, so you don't raid your safety fund for a vacation. Step 4. Make spending the visible number, not saving. Most budgeting apps show you your total balance and expect you to subtract mentally. Flip that. Your checking account, after automation, should represent only what's spendable. When you check your balance, you're not doing math. You're just looking at the truth. Step 5. Increase the percentage automatically, not manually. Every time you get a raise, automate a portion of the raise itself before your lifestyle adjusts to it. This is sometimes called paying yourself a raise. If you get a 5% raise, automate 2 to 3% of it immediately. You'll never miss money you never actually held. Now, I want to address the obvious objection, because I know it's coming. Jack, I don't have anything left to automate. I'm not budgeting because I'm lazy. I genuinely don't have extra money. And that's fair, and it's real for a lot of people. But here's the reframe. You don't need extra money to start automating. You need to automate before you decide you don't have extra money. Because the moment cash sits visible in your account for a full pay cycle, your brain will always find a reason it's needed elsewhere. That's not a character flaw. That's just how visible, accessible money behaves in a human brain that's wired for the present, not the future. Even automating $10 a paycheck does 2 things. It proves to your brain that saving doesn't break you. And it builds the actual mechanism, the transfer, the account, the habit, so that when your income does grow, the system is already running. You're not starting from zero. You're just increasing a number. Let me be blunt about the psychological trap in traditional budgeting. It relies on restriction, and restriction breeds rebellion. Tell your brain no to every small purchase for long enough, and it eventually rebels with a bigger purchase to compensate. That's why so many people budget hard for 3 weeks and then blow it all in one weekend. It's not failure. It's a predictable response to a system built on constant denial. Automation sidesteps that entirely because it never asks your brain to say no in the moment. The decision already happened, quietly, before temptation even showed up. So here's the actual difference between broke people and rich people, and it has nothing to do with income, intelligence, or luck. Broke people, on average, make the savings decision daily, under pressure, after spending. Rich people make the savings decision once, in advance before spending. One system requires infinite willpower. The other requires it exactly one time. Here's your move today. Open your bank app. Set up one automatic transfer. Even if it's small, time for the day your next paycheck lands. Not tomorrow. Not when I have more money. Today. Then come back and comment automated so I know you actually did it, not just watch the video. Because a year from now, you're either going to be the person still fighting a spreadsheet every week or the person who set it up once and forgot about it while it quietly built real money in the background. If this helped you see the difference, hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.